You're listening to Autumn on the Air, the weekly podcast that brings you conversations about the impact of research commercialization and the people who make it happen. Join us for interviews with patent and licensing professionals, innovators, entrepreneurs, and tech transfer leaders on the issues and trends that matter most. Keep listening for an inside track on the people, IP policies, and politics changing our world.
Welcome to Autumn on the Air. Today we're talking about a technology that's rapidly reshaping the future of tech transfer, artificial intelligence. AI isn't just a buzzword. It's becoming an essential tool for tech transfer offices to accelerate licensing deals, identify the right industry partners, and market their innovations more effectively. But how do you actually leverage AI to make that happen? We're giving you an exclusive sneak peek into the upcoming 4-week virtual course, The Future of Tech Transfer, Leveraging AI to Find and Secure Licensing Deals. This course is designed to equip you with practical AI skills that can completely transform how you approach tech transfer. Joining us are the course's expert instructors, Peter Bittner, founder and CEO of The Upgrade, who has helped organizations like NASA and Apple close the AI skills gap, and Dr. Devorah Graeser, founder and CEO of RocketSmart.io, a platform using AI to connect universities with the best corporate partners. Welcome, Peter and Devorah. So excited to have you on the podcast today.
Our pleasure. Thanks so much for having us, Lisa.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us, Lisa. We are super excited to talk about our AI course that we are doing with Autumn.
Yeah, you and I were talking before the podcast. It sounds amazing. So I thought maybe the best place to kick this session off is for you to give us a brief overview about the course, what it is, and why it's so important for tech transfer professionals right now.
So the course is intended to look at AI from the perspective of the tech transfer professional. How can tech transfer professionals use different AI tools to upgrade their process, to make it faster, to make it more productive, and perhaps more importantly, to do those things that we all find annoying? AI can really help us there. Now, there are a lot of great AI tools, but very few are actually meant for tech transfer professionals. Instead, there are a lot of general AI tools. You can do a lot of different things with them, but this course is intended to help tech transfer professionals select the best AI tools and integrate them into their own business process in a way that will help them not only be more productive, but also reduce friction, feel less like they're fighting with the tool and more like they're getting the full benefits from the tool.
So it sounds to me like you almost see this as a game changer for tech transfer offices. How do you see it that way?
Well, I see it personally as a game changer for tech transfer offices because tech transfer is really important for bringing university and other research institution innovations to the world. And we all agree that these innovations can change the world. They can make the world a better place. But in order to make the world a better place, these innovations have to find the right commercial home, the right company partner that can commercialize the innovation, bring it to market as a product, and therefore improve everyone's lives. Now, finding that right partner is super hard. People are really busy. They don't necessarily have time to talk with us and understand about how we can help them or how our innovations can help them. AI can help us do a lot of the heavy lifting. For example, in the course, we're going to look at taking your innovation and understanding all the industries that it could be helpful for. Often researchers focus on one industry, and that's great, but when it comes to commercialization, maybe a different industry would be a better match. Then we look at markets. Which markets are good, demographically speaking, geographically speaking, in terms of company size? Who would be a really good company partner? After that, we help you find good leads. Now, these, of course, are companies which could be a good match, and sometimes are companies that folks have never heard of, smaller companies that are really innovative and really want to take a chance. But also with the course, we will show tech transfer professionals how to use AI to find the right contact and to make the right case. We need to bring the innovation to the right contact in the right company in a way that enables them to say yes right away, without friction and without roadblocks.
Wow, a huge time saver. And like you said, takes a huge load off of tech transfer offices. And I know this is something not only are you very passionate about it, but you have a lot of experience doing it because your platform, rocketsmart.io, does exactly that. It uses AI to help find corporate partners. So given all this experience that you've had, what do you think some of the biggest challenges are for tech transfer offices in this area when it comes to finding corporate partners, and how can AI help them?
Well, one of the really big challenges in finding corporate partners is finding a partner for whom your innovation is coming to them at the right time and is being connected to the right person within that company. So timing and person contact.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's super tough. Another issue is there are many smaller companies which are willing to take chances and are interested in doing innovation that we may not have heard of. So I heard from someone who used an AI tool to find a company in Italy, a small company, 200 people, privately family-owned for generations. He had never heard of these people before. But as it turned out, he had an innovation that was exactly the right innovation for them. It was exactly the right time for them. They signed the license agreement quickly, and both sides couldn't be happier.
Wow, that's an incredible example. I mean, how else would you have, like you said, you never would have been able to find them at the right time. So that's really fascinating. So let's talk a little bit about AI tools, because many people are unfamiliar with these tools. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the kinds of AI applications that you'll be discussing in the course? And are these tools accessible for someone who doesn't have a technical background?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we'll be covering a wide range of tools in the course. We have a number that are pretty popular, including, of course, ChatGPT, but we'll also be going and really in detail covering tools like Perplexity for online research, which can be incredibly helpful, in addition to other types of tools, including those specific to tech transfer is the goal. So we are going to be, and I'll let Devora talk a little bit more about which ones we're currently in talks with some of the companies about, but there's several different tech transfer specific AI powered platforms. But we'll also be covering, a wide range of image generation, audio and video generation, not necessarily because, they're incredibly relevant right now, but just to show in those cases the direction where things are moving super fast, right? And so we think that there's benefit to understanding the direction and that all of these different multimodal and multimedia generative AI tools are going in, because it's not long until you can use prompt engineering, right, and simple natural language to not only generate really great research reports or marketing copy, but to also generate, stock assets for your specific marketing campaign, right? Or partnerships, as well as potentially turn things into, audio or video really quickly. So we'll be covering a range of tools, including, DALL-E, which is, OpenAI's image generator. We'll do a brief overview of Midjourney, which is probably the best image generator on the market, as well as talk about things like, HeyGen, for example, to create a digital video avatar, for example. So we'll be going into a lot of different types of tools. But again, in terms of the ones we're really drilling down on for best practices, and it's going to be ones that are going to be the most heavily used by those in tech transfer. And I'll let Devora talk a little bit more about some of those tools specifically with the tech transfer focus.
Yeah, so we have actually reached out to a few of these different tool folks, including First Ignite. We're in conversation with them. We've also reached out to Scale IP and TradeSpace. However, most of the tools we're looking at are actually going to be more general purpose AI tools. And the reason why is they're a lot cheaper. If you're looking at $20, $40, $50 a month for a tool, that's a lot different than some of the more specific tech transfer tools that are more expensive. If you do have a smaller office, then you have some issues potentially with budget. And we want to make sure that everyone can put into practice what we've shown them during the course.
Yeah, they don't need an expensive program to go buy an expensive subscription or something like that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And for, like you said, for smaller offices, that really is the key. So I don't want the two of you to give away too much, but can you talk a little bit about how AI can make certain tasks like invention summaries or company profiling more efficient and impactful? And can you maybe also give us an example of how these tools can speed up the tech transfer process?
Sure. Well, when it comes to doing invention summaries, one of the ways that these tools can help, and we will be looking at using them, for example, ChatGPT or Claude or one of these other tools, is you can take a very technical summary. It could be a scientific paper or it could be a patent. And instead of coming up with something that's either super technical and doesn't talk about the business side, or if you're talking about summarizing a patent, sounds like it was written by a lawyer, which is not what you want, you can actually use these natural language processing tools to find the essence of the invention from the business perspective. So you can ask ChatGPT or Claude, what industries could this patent or could this scientific paper, could that invention embodied in there, could it be used for? Then when you're generating the non-confidential marketing summary, you can tune that for a particular industry or for a particular market within that industry or even for a particular company to show how your technology can solve the problems that that company is talking about in public using language that that company uses. So that would be very hard for a human to do, right? The human would have to read everything, would have to do all this discovery work. It would take a ton of time. ChatGPT and these other tools can make it go much faster while the human still has to edit. We still need human in the loop. It can save a ton of time and also reduce a lot of friction into personalizing these non-confidential marketing summaries for the right company.
In the course, you both talk a lot about AI-enhanced marketing pitches. What's one way AI can help craft a stronger licensing pitch that resonates with potential partners, given your experience?
So one of the ways it can craft a stronger pitch for licensing is to identify the persona of the buyer on the other side. So if we think about it, when we're trying to make a licensing deal, we're actually trying to make a quote unquote sale of an innovation to a company, to a commercialization partner who will pay us money and who will then develop that innovation, pay us milestones, royalties, et cetera, et cetera. So it is effectively a sale. Part of the sales process is understanding who the buyer is. ChatGPT and these other general purpose tools can help you understand who the buyer is and also how to identify the correct buyer persona. Tools like Perplexity AI that Peter mentioned can help you do research to understand how an industry might view a particular type of innovation or how the industry might view a particular type of commercialization problem. So the combination of bringing these things together means that you would actually be able to create a pitch that would resonate with the person at the other end who is the partner who will hopefully then buy your innovation.
That's amazing. It just seems like this has such potential, not only to take some of the heavy lifting off tech transfer offices, but just make them more efficient and get to where they need to get to a whole lot faster, and close deals a lot quicker and close more deals every year. So it's really, it's incredible to see where the technology is going. And I know the course has got both live sessions and pre-recorded content. So tell us a little bit about the live sessions and how you think these will work in terms of participants applying what they've learned in the pre-recorded modules.
So the pre-recorded modules, we have some which Peter did. In fact, he's done the majority of them. I did one of the pre-modules. These are going to be giving folks a foundation. Then with the live talk, what I'm going to do is take that foundation, that information about AI, about the ethics, about how it works, about how to use a particular tool, and then show how to apply it for specific tech transfer problems. We will take the tech transfer process and break it down to small parts, specifically around identifying industries, identifying markets, and then finding leads, both companies and contacts within those companies, market your innovations to. So it all builds together because you do need to have a fairly good grasp of the AI technology, even though you don't have to know anything about it before joining the course. It'll all be fine. But beyond that, you need to know how to apply it to your day-to-day so you're not sitting there wondering, well, what am I supposed to do now? How can this tool actually help me?
No, it sounds incredible. And how many pre-recorded modules have you guys done?
So there's going to be a pre-recorded module before every single live lecture that corresponds to the content that Deborah will be then drilling into the real applications specific to tech transfer. So regardless of the week and the unit, we'll have a pre-recorded guide that we recommend everyone watch beforehand to really help lay the foundation, as Deborah mentioned, with some of, the fundamentals of some of these AI tools and how best to use them generally, right? And how they work and why they work that way as best as we know. And then Deborah will really provide that hands-on, real live workshopping. And that's where I think the magic is combining those two, right? You'll be able to really go a lot farther than a conventional, pre-recorded course.
Right. And the benefit is, too, if you watch the pre-recorded module, you can watch it a couple times even before the live lecture if maybe you're having trouble, understanding a concept or something. So it gives you an opportunity to really get as strong of a base as you want and maybe you need. So, Peter, I wanted to ask you, your background is really interesting because it spans everything from journalism to AI consulting. So how do you see storytelling and AI coming together to help tech transfer professionals communicate their innovations better?
Yeah, wonderful question. So I think the real power of AI is to allow all storytellers to be able to do more with less, which is, really important regardless of what type of storyteller you are, whether you're a journalist or a marketer. It's going to allow you to be able to quickly, create more products and reach more audiences through more channels with the same amount of original content, and to pinpoint that, right? To really, as Deborah was mentioning, serve that audience with messaging that will be really relatable to them specifically and to, their priorities, their pain points, right? Their, specific interests and, priorities. So it's twofold, right? It's not only, putting out more content, ideally higher quality content, right? But making sure that it actually reaches the audience and maybe even exploring and testing new types of channels to reach that audience, right, than ever possible before. So it's an exciting time.
So, Deborah, I think one of the things that is really interesting about the course is you're also going to have office hours, which you've aptly titled, Ask Us Anything About AI. So can the participants really ask anything AI related, even if it ventures outside of the course content?
Absolutely. So the live lectures will be recorded, but the office hours will not. And that's for a few reasons. One of which is people might want to bring up somewhat sensitive things. I know I've sometimes been embarrassed to ask questions in class in front of everyone. Well, this way, at least it won't be recorded, number one. But number two, I also would encourage folks to come in for more of a free-ranging discussion. We will certainly start with questions that are directly related to the course to make sure we get those through. But if people ask questions that they feel are tangential, my feeling is that actually they aren't, because AI overall is going to make a huge difference in how each of us works every single day. I don't think we quite see it now, but I think in a year or two, we're going to be asking ourselves, how do we ever live without AI? And in 5 to 10 years, the entire landscape of work will have changed. So I don't think there's any question you can ask about AI that isn't going to impact us at work at some point. So yes, people can come and ask those questions and they won't be recorded.
I think that's fantastic because, AI is advancing so rapidly, to your point. And that leads me to ask, how do you stay on top of it? And how do tech transfer professionals who wear so many different hats and are responsible for so many things, how do they stay ahead of the curve and not feel overwhelmed by all these changes? Are you going to provide some suggestions on how to do this in the course? Because it is becoming overwhelming. We're inundated just on a daily basis with AI this, AI changes, it's useful for this. So how do you even keep up?
Well, so during the course, one of the things that Peter and I are going to enable the participants to build for themselves is their own roadmap for AI. And this will include a roadmap for learning about new AI tools to stay on top of AI. Of course, there is also the AI SIG, the special interest group, which I would encourage everyone to join. That is going to be looking at AI all the time, bringing in more information. It's the power of the group, the wisdom of the crowd, the ability of all of us to come together and bring information to each other's notice so one person doesn't have to stay on top of the whole thing. Instead, by joining with Autumn, taking the courses, and of course, joining the AI SIG, folks can stay on top of what's happening. I'm actually also going to be publishing a book.
Oh,
it will
congrats.
be published in November on AI process for business, and then I will be following up on one for an AI for tech transfer. But I'm not the only one who is doing this. There are other folks as well who are really working on distilling down AI for specific fields. The first wave of AI was general, and then people were like, what can we do with it? But now I think we're coming into the specialty AI wave, and that's where each of us looks for the AI that's going to help us the best. This course will give you, the tech transfer professional, the tools to decide which AI is best for you and how best to integrate it to your process.
Now, we've talked about pre-recorded modules, live classes, office hours. So I can hear some of our listeners thinking, wow, this might involve a lot of time. But this is really important that I understand about AI. So there are probably some listeners out there who are a little bit concerned about the time and wondering how flexible the course is going to be. How can busy tech transfer professionals fit this course into their schedule?
Well, there are a few advantages to the way they're running the course. First of all, we do have some pre-modules that we recorded that folks can access soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but certainly well before the course will start. And that way they can get the grounding initially. Then we're going to have a week where we look at the basic principles of using AI for creating marketing summaries and understanding how AI can help. Then we're going to have a week which is all going to be practice sessions and office hours. So no pre-recorded anything. It's there so that people can get caught up. They're going to have lots of opportunities to join on calls, to reach out to me or to Peter, and to ask questions. Then in the last 2 weeks of the course, we'll be consolidating. So I think this gives a lot of benefits to people. Of course, if people really get stuck and they've joined the course, they should just reach out to Peter or I, and we can work something out.
That's great. How long are the classes, the pre-recorded modules in terms of length? Are they an hour, 2 hours?
The pre-recorded modules will be roughly between an hour and 90 minutes each. And, the live sessions, I'll let Devorah cover in terms of their format across those different time zones.
That's right. So for the live sessions, we currently have a plan for an hour, but I have booked out enough time that they could go longer if people want to. But the main content will be in 1 hour. And then after that, it might just maybe like more questions if people have questions. The office hours we currently have planned for between an hour to an hour and a half. It depends on how long, folks want to stick around. Those, of course, won't be recorded. So if you're there, it's going to so that you can ask your question and people can always dip in and out to ask the questions. Because most of the material will, however, be recorded with the exception of the office hours, people can get caught up at different times. So you can do this asynchronously. Plus, I just want to point out that all the live sessions, both the live lectures and also the office hours, will be in 3 different time zones.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, if you could explain about the different time zones, because I think our listeners have heard us mention that a couple of times.
So one for each. So on Tuesdays for the live lectures, on Thursdays for the office hours, one will be Singapore time. The next one will be convenient for European time. And the last one will be later on in Eastern US time. That will also be convenient for California. So everyone will be able to find a time that works for them.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I appreciate you doing that because, Autumn has members all over the world. So it's great that you're accommodating everyone regardless of where they're located. So that's fantastic. So Peter, I wanted to turn to you for a second and ask you what excites you most about helping tech transfer offices adopt AI tools? Is there any particular success story that you can share with us that stands out in your mind?
Yeah, that's a great question. So as a journalist and former freelancer in particular, right, I know how it feels to basically be in office of sometimes one or working with just another colleague or two and being expected to do everything, right? And so I think that, there's more potential now with AI to, as a small team, be scrappier and more productive and efficient than ever. I think, in many ways, it's a really amazing time to be alive and be doing, work in this field, because there's, right now just so much that's going to be accelerated, not only in terms of what we can do in our work, but what our researchers and actually, university partners and stakeholders will be able to turn out in terms of innovations, right? It's going to absolutely ramp up. And so in order to not only excel at our jobs, but even increasingly probably stay up to date with ways in which we can just keep up with all of our researchers using also AI powered tools to create more IP and amazing, licensable, or patentable products. It's going to be just essential for people to learn these. But I have worked, in university environments as a lecturer at UC Berkeley for years and years, and I have a soft spot. We've had tech transfer pros come to a number of my other courses in the past, and I'm really thrilled to be partnering with Devorah to this, and because she brings so much expertise that I don't have, frankly, and I think it's a really nice complementary just relationship in terms of what the students will get and benefit from each of us. And so they're really lucky to have her immense expertise, right? As a practitioner, as, a top tier consultant. And need I mention also, Harvard trained and, PhD in a technical field that will bring a lot of incredible, firsthand knowledge and perspective to this.
Yeah, I think the two of you make a great team, and people should really consider signing up for this course because it sounds incredible. And based on what we've been talking about, you need to know this. And it sounds like you have incredible content. And, Devorah, like Peter was saying, you have incredible expertise. You've been training AI models for a long period of time now. I wanted to ask how you see AI evolving in tech transfer over the next 5 to 10 years, and how this course will help participants prepare for that future.
So I would say over the next 5 to 10 years, I would see AI evolving to reduce friction, to make it easier for tech transfer professionals to do their job. Now, then, of course, the question becomes, which job? What do tech transfer professionals value most? What are their particular goals? To make relationships, to make connections, to change the world, to bring their innovations out into the world, to make the world a better place. I think that because we're going to not have to spend so much time on the routine kind of boring work, this work that causes a lot of drudge work, a lot of that takes a lot of time but doesn't necessarily bring a lot of benefit, we're going to need to ask ourselves, what benefit do we see from tech transfer in the future? And how do we want AI to be shaped so that it helps us? Because an AI programmer, I'm one, I know many other AI programmers, they can make the AI do a ton of different things. But one of the things I have learned from programming and training AI models is if you don't know the problem you're trying to solve, the AI provide a good solution. So the AI models are only as good as the professionals who can define the problem that they're trying to solve and the desired type of solution or category of solution that they'd like to see. So that's where we as tech transfer professionals come in to make the AI better.
Absolutely. Now, as the podcast comes to a close, I wanted to ask the two of you, why do you think now is the right time for tech transfer professionals to jump in to learning about AI? And what's the risk about pushing this off and just saying, I'll get to it. I mean, I think I know the answer to that one. I do it all the time. I'll get to it. I never get to it. But anyway, why is this the right time?
This is the right time because I have to manually sort of audit my processes almost monthly to make sure I'm doing things the most efficiently now. As, a small business owner, it's critical to make sure I'm not wasting my time, right? And so I think because things are moving so fast, the time loss that you'll be experiencing without knowing it is remarkable, right? There's this concept in economics called the opportunity cost, right? And I think the opportunity cost of not investing in learning these skills right now, as this entire field is taking off, is going to be immense. So I'm able to personally be literally 10 times more productive, with my workflows and tools that I use every day. And I think it's going to be similar in terms of, the ability to really accomplish more than ever before. But if you wait, it's likely that, there will be other departments, other, competitors potentially as, this market also adopts to all these different, changes that might outshine your own researchers and your own university. And that's something you don't want to allow to happen, right? And you want to make sure that you're positioning yourself and your organization to be at the fore. So hopefully, that's, not too, dire, but I think it is really important to realize that, the nature of all of our digital work is changing dramatically, right? And it behooves all of us, regardless of the field, to really take a hard look now over this next few months, even entering 2025, to really think about investing in this and figuring out at least the fundamentals. And, with this course, the opportunity to really go further than that, and actually have some real tangible outcomes in terms of workflow improvements with Wora is just phenomenal. So I think it's the right time.
I would just simply add to that every new technology raises expectations of the people with whom we interact. And in this case, it's the buyers of our innovations that are coming out of universities and research institutions. So, for example, with the electric bulb, when that was invented, we expected our homes to be brightly lit. With spell checker, we expect to not have misspellings in our documents, or at least that we will check before we send them out. And so I think that as AI becomes more widely used, more and more people on the other side of our communications, the folks with whom we're trying to build relationships so we can do the commercialization work, they're going to have much higher expectations. Tech transfer offices that don't use AI are just, quite frankly, not going to be able to meet these expectations because it will be almost humanly impossible to do so, given how much more productive you can be with AI.
No, that's a fantastic point. So thank you. And thank you both so much for your time. And congratulations on the course, The Future of Tech Transfer, Leveraging AI to Find and Secure Licensing Deals. I think this is a great ad for Autumn, and we're really fortunate to have the two of you leading the program. So thank you for doing it, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Lisa. Our pleasure.
Thank you, Peter and Devora, for giving us a glimpse into the power of AI and tech transfer and what participants can expect from this exciting course. If today's discussion sparked your interest, then this course is definitely for you. You'll walk away with actionable insights and hands-on experience with AI tools designed to make your tech transfer processes more efficient and effective. For our listeners, don't miss your chance to sign up. The Future of Tech Transfer, Leveraging IP to Find and Secure Licensing Deals kicks off on October 15th and 16th. Hope to see you there. Thanks for tuning in to Autumn on the Air. Stay with us for more exciting episodes exploring the future of tech transfer.
Thanks for listening to Autumn on the Air with Lisa Mueller. Get social with us and share your thoughts. You can tweet us at AUTM or visit us online at autm.net. We'll be back next week on the air. Be sure to join us.